Hare Krishna. ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणि प्रचारिणि निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणि जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासुदेव गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. So this question by to get the desire fulfilled, Lord is giving trouble to so many other living entities. And that is correct, that it is not by chance it is happening. Anybody is getting any trouble. It is their own mistake they have performed. And Lord utilizes that living entities conditionings or whatever their karma, and then he performs his pastime also. Like whomever Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, Ravana, Kumbhakarna, or the demons who come by the desire of Lord who comes here, if they are giving trouble, we should know that it is they don't give trouble to any innocent people. And then when they give trouble to devotees, that is Lord's desire. Like say Prahalad or Pandavas, then Lord want it in a particular way so that the devotees are becoming more intense. And second thing is they come closer to him. So that is why the Lord arranges. So like Hiranyakashipu traveling Prahalad, that is Lord's arrangement to show how great is Prahalad and to intensify Prahlad's devotion also. It is like that. So here there are some nice points from Prabhupada. We'll see from the same chapter. Maybe we will not be able to complete the whole chapter, but we'll see. Sri Maitreya said the demigod, the inhabitants of higher planets, were freed from all fear upon hearing the cause of darkness explained by Brahma was born from Vishnu. Thus they all returned to their respective planets. Opposite the demigods, for denizens of higher planets, are also very much afraid of incidents such as the universe is becoming dark, and so they consulted Brahma. This indicates the quality of fear exists for every living entity in the material world. This is the first thing Prabhupada wanted to say. That because we don't see things in connection to the Lord, that's why there is fear. Now, when they went to Brahma, what did they understand? They saw the things in connection to the Lord. They saw, no, it's Lord is arranging. Okay, if Lord is arranging, we are okay. Otherwise, we are afraid. Because they didn't see the connection. When they saw the connection, no, it's Lord doing. Then what happens? Then they know, okay, he is doing, he is actually the well wisher, he is the maintainer, he is the protector. We need not be fearful. And that's why, like, say, we Prabhupada give example if a father is doing a drama, and then in the drama, he took a role of a big demon, and he comes in front of the child. The child knows he is my father, so he'll not be afraid. He says, "No, no, you are my father." That means he could understand a relation. He could see that it is father, so he is not afraid. So similarly, anything in our life, it is happening. If we say it's Lord doing, then we immediately become very peaceful. There is no much fear. We have fear because what will happen to my health, what will happen to family, what will happen to my property, or then because of that attachment is because we don't see the connection. If Lord is giving, he can take it back also, right? Then why we should complain? When he's giving that time also we didn't complain. Why did you give me so much property, so much wealth? And when he's taking, why we don't give acknowledge to the Lord? Because we think we are the doers. I have acquired this property. I have acquired. Okay, I agree, we have acquired. But who gave the intelligence to acquire? That we will think for granted, take it for granted. And then we start thinking, okay, it is me who did it and I got it, and now it's mine. Lord says, no, the intelligence I gave, the abilities I gave, and all these things, whatever property, everything is mine, all relations, everything is mine. But we wrongly attach because of this false ego and we become fearful. We don't see the connection. So now the demigods, when they saw the connection between the darkness and Supreme Lord, they said, okay, then they are free from fear. So this indicates the quality of fear exists for every living entity in the material world. Opposite, the four principal activities of material existence are eating, sleeping, fear, meeting. The fear element exists also in demigods on every planet. So, on every planet, even in the highest planetary system, including the moon, the sun, as well as this earth, the same principle of animal life exists. Otherwise, why the demigods are afraid of darkness? So, this is Prabhupada's point. Why they are afraid of darkness? The difference between the demigods and ordinary human beings is that demigods approach authority. So, this is a very important point. So, demigods approach authority, whereas inhabitants earth defy authority. So, because of which our fear continues. But if you approach authority and understand, if the people would only approach the authority, then every adverse condition in this universe could be rectified. So, what happens if we approach authority? They will help us to see the connection. They will help us to see the connection between the the activities of this world and the Supreme Lord. Arjuna was also disturbed on the battle of Kurukshetra, but he approached authority Krishna and his problem was solved. We are having problem, we are not having authority. That's all. The conclusive instruction of this incident is that we may be disturbed by some material condition, but if we approach the authority who can actually explain the matter, then our problem is solved. The demigods approached Brahma for the meaning of the disturbance, and after hearing from him, they are very satisfied. Now, another important point here is that people think as soon as I go to authority, the problem should be solved. The problem will be solved, but how it is solved, not that the situation changes. When demigods approached Brahma, did the situation change? No. When Arjuna approached Krishna, did the situation change? No. Then what changed? What changed is consciousness. So, when we approach authority, what they are changing, they are not changing the situation. They are giving us the right perspective, right connection. They are showing us this is Supreme Lord, He is arranging. We say, okay, Lord is arranging, He is very good person. So people think why they have doubt. They have doubts. This is a cause of all the things. And no, the we need not have doubt on Lord. We see the connection. Lord is all knowing. So that means He knows everything. We need not be okay. If He's all knowing, is He all powerful? Yes, all powerful. That means, okay, He knows what is happening in our life. He knows. My neighbor is troubling, my in-law is troubling, or my daughter is troubling, son is troubling, our boss is, I'm trouble, my health, or this, that, something financial. He knows, yes, He knows. Can He rectify? Must be, He may not be having all, no, He is all powerful. Then maybe He's not compassionate. He's not, no, He's fully full of compassion. So, full of compassion. Then why He's not doing it? Because He knows what is good for us. He knows when to do it. Like if He's giving something, He want to give something better. Like if mother made some nice feast, 10, 12 items with so many, all best, delicious, the best quality products. And then she goes and sees that the child is in the garden playing in the mud and eating mud. Then mother will come, give two beatings nicely, bring her, and the child is crying, Arey, why mother is beating? And then she uh, takes her to bathroom and forcefully, and the child is crying. She said, "No, no, 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 I want to be in." Then the child is forcefully made wash, and the eyes are burning because of the soap, and she's quite upset. But then once she's bathed and nicely dressed, then she's brought and given the big feast. So Lord don't want us to enjoy this mud in this material world. He want to give us feast in the spiritual world. And when she is coming and chastising and beating, it is very painful. So similarly, things in this world, if it is going wrong for us, we know maybe Lord want to give something better for us. Why don't we accept? We accept it, we'll be very happy. And demigods, that's why they are demigods, because they're ready to accept. And he says the virtuous lady Diti had been very apprehensive of trouble to the gods from the children in her room, and her husband predicted the same. She brought forth twin sons after a full 100 years of pregnancy. On the birth of these two demons, there was many natural disturbances, all very fearful and wonderful in the heavenly planets, the earth planet, and in between. So now we heard all these causes. Now we'll see the purpose directly. It says, when there was earthquakes along mountains on the earth, it appeared that there was fire everywhere. Many inauspicious planets like Saturn appeared, along with comets, meteoroids, and thunderbolts. Now, Prabhupada writes, when the natural disturbance occurs on the planet, one should understand that the demon must have taken birth there. In the present age, the number of demonic planet people is increasing. Therefore, natural disturbances are also increasing. There is no doubt about this, as we can understand from the statements of Bhagavatam. So, very, very nice reason. In the present age, the number of demonic people are increasing. Therefore, natural disturbances are also increasing. It's an indication from the nature that no, things are not going good. Like if before becoming sick, we get indications in the body. Body is indicating, no, no, don't take so much, don't eat. Body gives some indications. Head is paining or some inconvenience in the body. It is indicating that something big is going to come. Be careful. If we neglect it, then we become sick. Here also the indications are there. Of course, in this case, Devatas cannot do anything. And sometimes the indications are given by Devatas only for people in general to be careful and to become more spiritual and to be prepared for the calamity that is going to come. They want people to be prepared for the inevitable. And then how they prepare, make the consciousness. So whenever inauspicious signs are seen, like Yudhishthir Maharaj, as soon as he saw inauspicious, immediately people start doing pious activities. They try to do more. Like we see the sages of Naimisharanya. As soon as they saw the symptoms of Kali Yuga, they started doing yajna for 1,000 years. They said, let us do yajna so that the people in Kali Yuga will be benefited. Satram, the Sahasra, the 1,000 years of sacrifice. So same thing. Yudhishthir Maharaj, when he saw inauspicious, he said, okay, now time. Of course, he didn't take any measures, but in general, people should take some measures if we are seeing inauspiciousness, and that's how we have to protect ourselves. So there are indications by the demigods, and nature also is an indication. So their blue winds, which were most uninviting to touch, hissing again and again on uprooting gigantic trees, they had strong for their arm. They had storms for their armies and clouds of dust for their enzymes. Proparates when there are natural disturbance like blowing cyclone, too much heat or snowfall, and uprooting of trees by hurricanes, it should be understood that the demonic population is increasing. And nowadays it's so much. In America, there are so many hurricanes. In India, there are so many floods. And so the natural disturbance is also taking place. There are many countries on the globe, even at the present moment, where all the disturbances are current. This is true all over the world. There is insufficient sunshine and there are always clouds in the sky, cold and severe cold. This is sure that such people are inhabited by demonic people who are accustomed to all kinds of forbidden sinful activities. Nowadays, cities get floods without, like, previously when I was small, we were only hearing that floods when there is river, there is flood. And now in the cities also there are floods because water don't go anywhere. And cities like Hyderabad, we don't have any river. We have one Musi river, but it's not a big river. But still, so many thousands of, no, lakhs of people got affected years back. And it is happening in many cities, Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, so many cities. What happens is all the cellars, the parking is there, all the cars are drowned. Their property worth millions of rupees, hundreds of millions of rupees is destroyed. So the point here is that they are killing so many animals and eating every day. And the city, Hyderabad, where I stay, is 99% non-veg. So demonic people. They cannot, they cannot be without eating only. Now, so many animals you kill, you are so demoniac. So, what you are expecting? You expect these calamities. And now in Turkey, there was earthquake few months back, and so many places there are earthquakes. In Nepal, there was, and so many earthquake comes, and then tsunami is coming, and floods are coming. So many. Corona came, such a big thing. For 2 years, everybody was at home. They could not come out also. For so many months, it was lockdown. So the point is, in insufficient sun, the cold countries, it's like that. And there are always clouds in the sky, snowfall. It's such a miserable state. I don't know why they stay there. They could shift that. Somehow they get attached to that. It's a punishment also for them. They have to stay in that place. They don't have option. And the luminaries in the heaven are screened by mass of clouds in which lightning sometimes flash as though laughing. Darkness regained everywhere and nothing could be seen. All these things, no, they are called nimittas. Nimittani cha pashyani viparitani keshva. Arjuna is, when the king is going for a war, so you need to see some auspicious signs. If they are seeing inauspicious, they know I'm going to lose the battle. So there are so many inauspiciousness. Mandodari tells to Ravana that, see, as soon as you brought Sita here, so much inauspiciousness we are seeing. There is no fire in the sacrificial fire, only smoke is coming, and there are snakes seen in the kitchen. That means the owner is in trouble, he will be dying. And then horses are just on a plain land, they are slipping and falling, and jackals are howling. There was fire coming from their mouth, and vultures are coming and sitting on the terrace of the palace, and so many. There is rumbling without any clouds, and she gives a big list. And then when Ravana was going for the final battle, on the day he is going to die, there are inauspicious signs. And when Ravana sees the signs, a vulture comes and sit on his chariot. And such inauspicious signs they see. Ravana says, I don't care. These demigods, they want to make me fearful. That's why they're sending all these things, but I don't care for it. And he goes and he does. But in general, like when Dashrath Maharaj was after Ram's marriage, after Ram, he broke Lord Shiva's bow and he marries Sita, and then they're going. That time, fierce wind starts blowing and everything becomes inauspicious signs there. And immediately Dashrath Maharaj asks Vashishta, what is this? My God, something danger is going to happen. All these inauspicious signs. And then Vasishta sees the sign, he says, yes, they are all inauspicious, but there is, then he gives one indication that the birds are flying in particular way and this is blowing in this particular direction. That means the end is going to be nice. Now, initially there will be inauspicious, after that end is nice. So suddenly Parshuram appears and then he want to combat with Ram. And then Ram says, okay. And Parshuram loses all the strength and Ram gains it and then he continues. So end will be nice. So there are like that indications of, but people now also they in India there are so many people who have this sentiments. If somebody sneezes when you are going out, or the cat is cutting your way, I've seen this many times. Like I was traveling from Vrindavan to Mathura, and suddenly in the auto the cat crosses the road. And the auto driver was really very upset. I was not upset. I was traveling. I said, okay, it's Mathura Vrindavan, we don't care for it. And he thought that was early morning. He felt, oh, whole day I'll lose business. So he was quite upset, and then he stopped the vehicle for some time, and he drank his whatever BD cigarette, his smoke, and then he continued. The point is what I want to tell, that there are some signals like that. People feel inauspicious, and here also we see luminaries in the heaven were screened by mass of clouds, and in which lightning sometimes flash as though lightning. Darkness regained everywhere. Nothing could be seen. So their birth itself is such a uh, scary thing. The oceans with its high waves wailed aloud as if struck with sorrow, and there was commotion among the creatures inhabiting the ocean. The rivers, the lakes are all agitated. The lotuses weathered. Mist hollows appeared around the sun and moon during solar and lunar eclipse again and again. Claps of thunder were heard even without clouds, and sounds like those of rattling chariots emerged from the mountain caves. In the interiors of villages, she jackals yelled portentously, vomiting strong fire from our earth, and jackals and owls also joined with them. Raising their necks, dogs cried, and they are now in the manner of singing and now of wailing. So they say they see Yamadutas, that's why the dogs cry. Oh, Vidra, the asses ran hither and thither, and hither and in herds, striking the earth with their hard hoofs and widely braying. So Prabhupada writes, asses also feel very, very respectable as a race. And when they run in flocks hither and thither in so-called jollity, it is understood to be a very bad sign for human society. So that is, I have seen also. Now people don't care. All these inauspiciousness are always coming. People don't bother it. They get used. Frightened by the braying of asses, birds flew, shaking with their nest, while cattle in the cowshed as well as in the woods passed dung and urine. Crows, terrified, yielded blood in place of cows terrified, yielded blood in the place of milk. Clouds rained pus, and images of gods in the temple shed tears. Tears fell down without trees fell down without a blast of wind. Ominous planets such as actually all the planets now here, Mars and Saturn shone bright and surpassed the auspicious uh, ones such as Mercury and Jupiter. Only Mercury and Jupiter only good. All are all planets are dangerous planets only. Moon, Sun, Saturn, sorry, this Venus. Venus is also little good. So otherwise, Venus, Mercury, and Jupiter. Mercury not all the time. I also don't know much astrology, but what I heard is only best planet is of all is Jupiter. He does not create anything negative. Apart from that, all the planets they have some problems. And taking similarly retrograde courses, the planets came in conflict with another. Prabhupada writes, the entire universe is coming under the three modes of material nature. Those living entities who are in goodness are called the pious species, pious lands, pious trees, etc. It is similar with the planets also. Many planets are considered pious and others are considered impious. Saturn and Mars are considered pious. When the pious planets shine very brightly, it is an inauspicious sign. Achha. Many planets are considered pious and other inauspicious, impious. But when the inauspicious planets shine very brightly, it is not a very good sign. So planets shine brightly, it's auspicious sign. And it says that the further making there and many other omens of evil times, everyone but the four sages, son of Brahma, who are aware of the fall of Jay and Vijay and their birth of as Diti's son, were seized with fear. So they saw the connection and no fear. They did not know the secret of this truth. portents and thought that the dissolution of the universe was at head. According to Bhagavad Gita 7th chapter, the laws of nature are so stringent that it is impossible for the living entity to surpass their enforcement. It is also explained that only those who are fully surrendered to Krishna and Krishna consciousness can be saved. This is the point. We can learn from the descriptions of Srimad Bhagavatam that it is because of the birth of two great demons that there were so many natural disturbances. It is to be indirectly understood as previously described that when there are constant disturbance on the earth, that is an omen that some demonic people have been born or that the demonic population has increased. In the former days, there was only two demons, Panditi. Yet there were so many disturbances. At the present day, especially in the age of Kali, these disturbances are always visible, which indicates that the demonic population has certainly increased. So much demonic population is there now without any no. So demonic, see here, demonic population is not that they look like demons. They behave like demons. That is the point. Their look, they may be very smart and all these famous celebrities, but they're all demons. To check the increase of demonic population, the Vedic civilization enacted so many rules and regulations of social life. The most important of which is the Garbhadana process for begetting good children. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna informed Krishna that if there is unwanted population, Varnashankar, the entire world will appear to be hell. And this is actually what is happening. They're all unwanted children only. And recently, my friend, he runs one. We do some voluntary help to the society for the old age homes, orphanages, and then goshalas, and then educating children and other feeding cows, so many things. And he takes care of so many such projects. And one of the thing is the orphanage. So behind the orphanage, they threw a small child. The child is just 1 day old, and then that's all. And the child is born. They know this is a child home besides, so they dumped in the dustbin only, and they left. And sometimes they hang to the park. There was when I was in Pune, they used to hang the child in one polythene bag, hang to the park, and they go. People while going, coming in the morning, they see some child is crying, so they try to give some orphanage. This is such a demonic mentality. They have enjoyed, got the result, and they are not taking responsibility. This is hellish. People are very anxious for peace in this world. But there are so many unwanted children born without the benefit of Garbhadana ceremony, just like the demons born from Diti. Now, this is a child, they grows up. What he will become? He will definitely become very demonic, most likely. Because he's born only with that mentality. And he'll continue the demonic one. Diti was so lusty that she forced her husband to copulate at the time which was inauspicious, and therefore the demons were born to create disturbance. In having sex life to beget children, one should observe the process for begetting nice children. It's each and every householder in every family observes the Vedic system, then there are nice children, no demons, and automatically there is peace in the world. If we do not follow regulations in life for social tranquility, we cannot expect peace. Rather, we'll have to undergo the stringent reactions of natural laws. And this is actually what is happening in this world. People are getting so much punished, and they don't understand the punishment, also, unfortunately. They think, oh, it's natural, and they complain. Why there is so much fight in this world? Because people are unhappy, and they think their cause of unhappiness is some other person. The government is the cause of my unhappiness, so they do so many protests. They try to, every time there will be some demonstrations and all these things. If you see, every place, every country, there are so many things like that. People are People are unhappy because of their sinful life. Because they're unhappy, they start blaming the cause of unhappiness. For some Middle East countries, they think America is the cause of our unhappiness. They are so against them. And some people think maybe our president or the prime minister, or whoever is the leader. Some people, so everybody has somebody to blame, not knowing that they themselves are not following dharma, that's why they're unhappy. But not understanding this some simple point, they think the cause of unhappiness is somebody else. These two demons who appeared in ancient times soon began to exhibit uncommon bodily features. They had steel like frames which began to grow just like two great mountains. Papa says there are two classes of men in the world. One is called the demon, another is called the demigod. The demigod concern themselves with the spiritual upliftment of human society, whereas the demons are concerned with physical and mental upliftment. This is a very important. The spiritual upliftment is demigods. Mental and physical upliftment, material upliftment is him. And now who are the people? Everybody says prosperity, success. And they're talking about physical and material upliftment only. They say how much we have achieved. We have made such and such advancement in our city. Our city is number one in the world or number one in the continent. And they are thinking the two demons born of Diti began to make their bodies as strong as iron frames, and they were so tall that this screened to touch outer space, seemed to touch outer space. They were decorated valuable ornaments, and they thought that this was success of life. You see, this is all passion. It's in mode of passion. This is considered success. But we discussed this also. For us, success is how much we are going spiritually. Originally, it was planned that Jaya and Vijay, the two doorkeepers of Vaikuntha, would take birth in the material world, whereby the curse of the sages, by the curse of the sages. They were to play the part of always being angry with the Supreme Personality of God. As demonic persons, they became so angry that they were not concerned with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but simply with physical comforts and physical upliftment. This is actually the present situation of the society. They are also, that's what I'm telling. Demon is not that they look demonic, they may look very good. The mentality is demonic. That is the point. Their bodies became so tall that they seemed to kiss the sky with the chest of their golden crowns, the crests of their. They blocked the view of all directions, and while walking, shook the earth at every step. Their arms were adorned with brilliant bracelets, and they stood as if covering the sun with their waist, which were bound with excellent and beautiful girdles. In the demonic way of civilization, people are interested in getting a body constructed in such a way that when they walk on the street, the earth will tremble, and when they stand up, it will appear that they covered the sun and the vision of the fourth direction. If a race appears strong in body, their country is materially considered to be amongst the highly advanced nations of the world. So this is actually what people go to gym and then they do so many workouts. It is not. It is good for. It's. Not, I'm not against it. It is for keeping good health, not to make a six pack and to attract and to show off people that see how powerful I am. And six pack is not creating is not problem, but maintaining is a more bigger problem because then the body becomes the shape will be out and it's difficult for people to maintain it. And people may say, "Arey, you cannot do that, so you're making comment." No, no. Yeah, we cannot do. It's not that we are making comment. We are just telling the truth that the purpose of life is not for six pack, nice body, and all. The purpose of life is to focus on Krishna. That is success in Rajoguna, but that is not the success, the definition of success in Sattoguna. Kashyapa, Prajapati, the creator of the living entities, gave his two sons the name. The one who was born first, he named Hiranyaksha, and the one who was first conceived by Diti is named Hiranyakashipu. Prabhupada says there is an authoritative Vedic literature called Pinda Siddhi, in which the scientific understanding of pregnancy is very, very nicely described. It is stated that when the male secretion enters the menstrual flux in the uterus in two successive drops, the mother develops two embryos in her womb and she brings forth twins in a reverse order so that in which they were first conceived. The child conceived first is born later, and the one conceived later is born first. The first child conceived in the womb leaves behind the second child, so that when the birth takes place, the second child appears the first. The first child appears second. In this way, in this case, it is understood that Hiranyaksha, the second child conceived, was delivered first, whereas Hiranyakashipu, the child who was behind him, having been conceived first, is born second. So this we have discussed properly. The elder child Hiranyakashipu was unafraid of death from anyone within the three worlds because he received a benediction from Lord Brahma. He was proud and puffed up due to this benediction and was able to bring all the three planetary systems under his control. Prabhupada writes, as will be revealed in later chapter, Hiranyakashipu underwent severe austerity, the penance to satisfy Brahma. And then he gives, Prabhupada writes, Hiranyakashipu received the benediction that no one within the material world would be able to kill him. In other words, because he originally came from the abode of Vaikuntha, he was not to be killed by anyone within the material world. The Lord desired to appear himself to kill him. One may be very proud of this material, of his material advancement in knowledge, but he cannot immune to the four principles of material existence, namely birth, death, old age, and disease. So nobody is immune, even though he may be as powerful as Hiranyakashipu. It is Lord's plans to teach people that even Hiranyakashipu was so powerful and strongly but could not live more than his destined duration of. So people think that if I am powerful, I am strong enough, I'll be able to overcome all these things. But Prabhupada, Krishna's the Lord is still no, not possible. You see, दृष्ट्वा मया दिवि विभो किल तृष्णपानम् आयुश्रियं विभव इच्छति यञ्जनोऽयम् यस्मात् पितुः कुपितः स विजम्पते भुः Vispurujite Lulita Satte Narasta. Prahlad is telling, I have seen my father. He has Ayu, Shriya, Vibhava, all these things he had. And Yasmat Pituk Kupitahasi, just out of sarcastic anger, he laughs and looks, he just lifts his eyebrows towards the demigods, they start shivering. So Prahlad is telling, no, I have seen all these things. Then I came to a different conclusion. And one may become as strong and puffed up as Hiranyakashipu to bring under his control all the three worlds. But there is no possibility of continuing life eternally or keeping the conquered booty forever. So many emperors have come, ascended to power, and they are now lost in the oblivion. This is the history of the world. That's why we don't keep track of history. The Vedic culture, they don't keep track of history. What they do is they take the important lessons, that's all they keep, and then they continue. So in this verse, it is said that his younger brother Hiranyaksha was always ready to satisfy elder brother by his activities. Hiranyaksha took a club on his shoulder and traveled all over the universe with a fighting spirit just to satisfy Hiranyakashipu. So here this is nicely explained. Prabhupada says the demonic spirit uh, is to train all family members to exploit the resources of the universe for personal sense gratification. Whereas the godly spirit, where the godly spirit is engaged everything in the service of the Lord. Hiranyakashipu was himself very powerful and made his younger brother Hiranyaksha powerful to assist him in fighting with everyone and lording it over metal nature as long as possible. If possible, he wanted to rule the universe eternally. These are demonstration of the spirit of demonic living entities. And sometimes it happens. Person is a thief. He will train everybody in the house as a thief. The whole family becomes a professional thieves. And same thing with good things also. They want to make everybody doctor in the house. The whole family is doctors, whole family are lawyers, whole family they are tradesmen or whatever. So everything is so here also Hiranyakashipu want whole family, Arey, you take care of my business, be my partner. Hiranyaksha's temper was difficult to control. He had anklets of gold twinkling about his feet. He was adorned with gigantic garlands and he rested his huge mace on one of his shoulders. And he says his mentality and body strength, as well as the boon conferred upon him, had made him proud. He feared death at the hands of no one, and there was no checking him. The gods, therefore, were seized with fear at his very sight, and they hid themselves even a, even a snake hides themselves for fear of Garuda. So he was really creating havoc. And Prabhupada right, the asuras are generally strongly built as described, and therefore their mental condition is very sound, and their powers is also external. Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, having received the boon that they would not be killed by any other living entities within this universe, were almost immortal, and thus they were completely fearless. They know only some special entity should kill, but they know it does not exist, so they were quite fearless. And on not finding Indra and other demigods who had previously been intoxicated with power, the chief of the Daityas, seeing that they had now all vanquished before his mind, roared loudly. This we just read, so I will not take much. And then he says after returning from the heavenly kingdom, the mighty demon, who was like elephant in wrath for the sake of sport, dived into the ocean, which was roaring terribly. So he says that on his entering the ocean, the aquatic animals who formed the host of Varuna were struck with fear and ran far away. The Hiranyaksha showed his splendor without dealing a blow, just seeing only so fearful. Prabhupada says materialists sometimes appear to be very powerful and are seen to establish their supremacy throughout the world. Here also it appears that Hiranyaksha, by his demonic strength, actually established his supremacy throughout the universe, and the demigods were afraid to his uncommon powers. Not only were the demigods in space afraid of the demon Hiranyakashipu and Yaksha, but so were also the aquatic animals within the sea. So they are afraid of everything that is going to that is happening there. Let's see. Yeah, moving in the ocean for many years, it was dissolved. And Prabhupada says Varuna is supposed to be the predominating deity of water, and his capital, which is known as Vibhavari, is within the water kingdom. So he was moving about in the ocean for many years. The mighty Hiranyaksha sowed the gigantic wind-tossed waves again and again with his iron mace, and the reacted Vibhavari, the capital of Varuna. So this all we just heard. So I'll not just take much. We'll just read We were the home of Varuna, the lord of aquatics. Here Hiranyakashipu fell at Varuna's feet like a low-born man, and to make fun of him, he said with a smile, "Give me a battle." Thoda really so sarcastic. Prabhupada writes, the demonic persons always challenges others and try to occupy others' property by force. Here, the symptoms are fully displayed by Hiranyaksha, who begged war from a person who had no desire to fight. So this is the point. Like he, he just wanted to show and to acquire that status. And among all demigods, now Varuna is considered the most powerful of all demigods. Varuna is the most powerful. And Varuna says, "You are he is telling to Varuna, you are the guardian of entire sphere and rule of the wide frame, having cursed the might of arrogant and conceited warriors, and having acquired all the Daityas and Dharmas in the world, you have performed a righteous sacrifice." So he's glorifying Varuna, but he actually wanted Varuna to fight with him. Thus, mocked by an enemy whose vanity knows no bound, the worshipful Lord of Waters waxed anger, but by dint of his reason, he managed to curb the anger that has sprung upon him. And he replied, "O dear one, we have now destined from warfare, desisted from warfare, having grown old from combat." So is Varuna is telling to, of course they don't become old. This is heavenly planet. They'll remain young only till they die. So proper warmonging materialistic always create fight without a reason. Process. And then the next verse. You are so skilled in war that I do not see anyone else but the most ancient person, Lord Vishnu, who can give satisfaction in the battle to you. Therefore, O chief of the Asuras, approach him. Whoever heroes like you mentioned the praise. Purposes aggressive materialistic warriors are actually punished by the Supreme Lord for their policy of unnecessary disturbing world peace. Therefore, Varuna advised Hiranyaksha at the right course to satisfy his fighting spirit would be to seek the fight with Vishnu. So, this is actually what helps in one way. So, just he says, you are so skilled in war that you do not see anyone else but the most ancient person who can give satisfaction in battle. Therefore, O chief of the Sas, approach him. Proposes, yeah. So, therefore, Varuna advised Hiranyakashipu to fight. And next, Varuna continued on Varuna continued. On reaching him, you will be rid of your pride, and at once you will lie down on the field of battle surrounded by dogs for eternal sleep. It is in order to exterminate wicked fellows like you, to show his grace to the virtuous. He assumes his various incarnations like Varaha. And Prabhupada writes, Azures do not know, Asuras do not know that their bodies consist of five elements of mental nature, that they fall, when they fall, they become the objects of pastimes of dogs and vultures. Varuna advised Hiranyaksha to meet Vishnu in his boar incarnation so that his hankering for aggressive war would be satisfied and its powerful body would be vanquished. So exact time we are finishing. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purport of the third canto, 17th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Victory of Hiranyakashipu over all the directions of the universe. Thank you all very much. So purpose of life is to conquer six anartha, not six packs. Shama. Okay, any questions, comments? We'll end here. Granthras